Good morning.
Morning. Hello.
How's your full moon?
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, it
Oh,
was
really?
it was everyone I know had sort
Chaotic?
of was a bit sicky. Like, I had that feeling, everyone was a bit queasy. My star was a bit sick quite a lot sick last night. Then my friend's cat was, and then their child was. Like, it's like it must have had that kind of woof.
Yeah.
That's the official sound of it. Woof.
That's exactly what it sounds like. But yeah, we've got a bit of a sick ship going at the moment.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was a bit of a distracting one in that sense. But you can feel it physically, can't you? You can never say you can't feel the full moon when it makes everyone just go, oh.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's the full moon in Sagittarius, which in some ways is my favorite, but in
Yeah.
some ways is, you'd be very wise to be wary of it.
Yeah. So it's a Gemini and Sagittarius. It's not a relaxing full moon, is it? Like with
No.
it's not a chill and get your candles. And my friend tried to light a candle and it almost like lit the house on fire. I was like, yeah, is that kind of full moon?
Yeah,
Chill.
exactly.
Just gin
No,
further.
it's a full moon for not playing with the elements.
Yes. Yeah. I just sat
Yeah.
outside with my cat and just watched the bats. That was I mean, I did a bit of journeying, I did a bit of that, but we were like, oh, let's just sit outside and watch the bats.
Yeah. So I had a reading last night with a lady who is a regular on many years, and that as she's sort of getting stronger, she's far away, and when you've been with somebody for years, you really sort of see how they're sort of settling into their lives and being sort of more at peace with their choices and stuff. Anyway, I'm laying down her cards last night, and I was like, wow. I said to her, everything is in chaos. It wasn't even like everything is in chaos again. Everything is in chaos after sort of all the work. And she's like, mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then this morning, so I'm doing somebody far away on the other side of the world, and I said to her, you've got all the items on your to-do list, but your brain scrambled all of them up so that you've got like the least important, the thing that is coming in 2 years' time. You've got that. You're like at the top of the to-do list. You're really sort of pressing at that, and then the other stuff so that's again another type of chaos. Like it's all upside down, and I thought, whatever chaos I don't identify in my own life, because I'm a little bit bonkers, and I bath in the chaos. I bath in it. I perfume myself in the chaos. But whatever chaos I don't identify in my own life, you see in your clients.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I was thinking like I felt like those accordion, those accordion instruments. Like my brain was like the bit where it's pressed up, but it needed just to go it just needed to be unpressed.
Wow.
And
All
it's
the
just
air
actually,
is coming out, all the air is
yeah,
going in.
yeah, it was just so I think even just having a few conversations with people saying, do you have to do everything yourself? Was like
Do you know, that's actually very Sagittarius. I
yeah.
hadn't thought about it. But Sagittarius is not like, I don't need any help. But Sagittarius is certainly, I want to do it alone. So we're either doing it my way or not at all. And also, in order to do it my way, I have to explain everything to you, and I'm not going to bother doing that. So you're left alone.
Yeah.
But yeah, this sort of, it's not a refusal to accept help. It's an inability to accept help. That is just so
Yeah.
Sagittarius.
So that's been the vibe. And also the
Yeah.
feeling of like, if there's a middle ground. It's not do or do not. It's like there's help. Oh, and help without
Yeah.
guilt or like bad feelings or oh.
With little things. And you know what I always say to people? I say, because it's always the same kind of personality type, right? So I say, how you love helping other people. Like you really get off on it, you get a kick out of it, you get this amazing sense, like you said, like you've made somebody happy in what for you at that moment is a very small mental investment, and you've caused so much happy. Why not give somebody else the gift of being able to
Yeah,
do that for you?
exactly. We're denying them the gift. We're denying them the gift.
Yeah.
So yes.
Exactly. I'll play it back to myself a little bit later.
Yeah.
But
It's a gift. Do a Sean Bean. It is a gift for the foes of Mordor.
amazing. Very niche, very popular.
Second breakfast. We're going down
Let's go down the second breakfast. Let's see who we've got with us. And where from.
Yes.
So Nigel Porter is saying, hi,
Good
everyone.
morning, Nigel.
How are you doing today? And he says, I'm doing okay, thank you.
Good,
How are you
good to
doing
hear.
today?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, that's a great start.
A great start.
Even if it doesn't proceed anywhere, that is a great start. That is something to be proud of. You're on the outside of the bed.
Yeah,
You're
here.
brushed. Got
Yeah.
coffee.
Got a coffee, put some lipstick on. You know, this is look at the little fox. This is so cute.
Look at the little foxy. Oh, did you see the video I sent you with the goats?
Did I not see the goat video? Did I see the goat?
Scroll up while I read messages.
I
Scroll
see
up
the
in your
goat video.
Instagram, just above
Love
the invite. Baby
Hello.
goats. Baby goats. You do that. Yeah. So I'll read the messages. You look at the goats. Sandy Black says, good morning, ladies. Blessings. Mwah, mwah. Blessings to Sandy. Mark says, why is it not flashing up? What's with me?
You really want to go?
Mark says, ladies, full stop. Hello. I arrived late to the party, waiting for my tablets to arrive, as is life. Oh, I hope they arrive without a hitch. Christelle is saying hello from France. Hi.
Hi, Chris.
And Mark, hello to everyone else. Oh, good message saying, please remember to click like so you're alerted when in Ballinlough. Others are on lovely weather here, but thunderstorms are later apparently. Oh, good, I had no idea. We're down the roads from each other. So your nice weather is my nice weather. Your thunderstorms are my thunderstorms.
It's chucking it down here, so it's probably going up. It's probably going up. It's absolutely pelting it down here. So
oh my goodness!
Yeah,
because today for the first time in months, maybe the whole year, instead of running straight after the show, I'm going in the evening. So now I understand that I'm going in the evening in the wet instead of going in the afternoon.
You're pissed by then. It's definitely like a proper summer.
Yeah. Yeah. I was going to say, a bit of optimism never killed anyone, but I think it's probably like a primary cause of accidents. And Christelle is well on board saying, I want coffee too.
It is a wise wish to want coffee too. Mm-hmm.
One of the paths to joy, I hear, is the pursuit of achievable goals. Coffee
is an achievable.
Coffee.
Yeah,
it's an achievable goal.
I hope it is.
You go and pursue it.
Yeah.
Mark's like, yeah, they did. Oh, the medicines arrived. Very, very good. Very good. Hope they work really well for you. I think medicines and the full moon.
Woo!
Yeah. You take a little painkiller for a headache on a full moon, wake up 3 days later. No memory of how you got there. You got to go get your eyebrows done because it's been 3 days without.
I love the fact that the eyebrows is the first thing you think of if you're asleep for 3 days.
That's the first thing you see in the mirror.
Not the fact that you probably wet yourself. Maybe your cat started eating your decaying body, but my eyebrows might be looking a little.
Do you know what it is? I think it's because I'm so short. Then in some mirrors, that's what I get. That's all. It's possible that that some people will enjoy, how their second chin vanished if they're asleep for 3 days, or their shoulders or anything. But I'm like, yeah, that's the one thing I can count on. They're still there.
The best. Crystal's on it this morning. I appreciate the best drink ever. Like, this is
yeah. Actually, Crystal, if you want to run to the kettle, we'll just do not super important chit chat for
goats
minutes.
Yeah.
Come back. Mark says it's the usual lenalidomide. Say that when you're drunk. Never mind, spell it. Took me 2 years.
When I'm sober.
Lenalidomide. I wish on you, Mark, and anyone else, that you will live so long that you will forget how to say it, that you will forget why you ever needed it, and that the only thing you'll need is like us.
Coffee. Fluid. That's such a lovely blessing. Yes, absolutely. I agree. Yes.
I've got very, very into specific blessings.
I love it.
So much. I get such a, such personal like reward such a happy feeling from identifying the exact things that I want to expel, because I think it's very witchy. You know,
Oh,
when you
it's
settle
super
down to do,
witchy. Yeah.
right? You settle down to do a magic. You're not just sort of standing there in front of the goddess and the god, all
Yeah.
the candles, keep a watchful eye on your candles,
Yeah.
and you say, yeah, I want things to be a little bit better. No, by the time you've
No.
invited everybody, list.
Yeah. I thought, people always say, like, don't say what you don't want because you're still saying it. And I was always a bit like, really, is it that specific? But then the other day when I was just feeling really tired and someone just said to me, like, I bet you're feeling A, B, and C. And you don't have to. But all I read is, I bet you're feeling A, B. And I went, oh, yeah, that's awful. I'm awful. Oh, my God. And I thought, wow, that's how it works. The universe, that kind of feeling of like, you've said those words and that's what gets taken in. Like even your subconscious is taking that in, not the I bet and you don't have to. Blah, blah, blah. I took in the dum bum bum and went, oh, yeah, I feel awful.
Yeah, they teach you that, in parenting classes, where you sort of go to a child, don't run in the road, and what they hear is run in the road.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you're gonna maintain, whereas I don't know if it's like the exact right way to say it, because the the parenting classes were like a long time ago, but I kind of go behavior, and then it's not like stop trying to strip the skin off your brother. It's or concentrate. Yeah, because if you concentrate, who knows where you're gonna get.
Yeah, that's
I'm
really
not
good.
you.
Yeah, so it's for spell work as well. Yeah, that's important. Not on to go, I don't want this anymore, because you're just like, yeah, great. We've identified you don't. Now let's like, but let's identify the thing you are manifesting. I like that specific blessing and the specificness with spells as well. It's really beautiful.
And when you do affirmations, I love doing like really specific affirmations. I've always done that. I'm not sort of a materialistic person by nature, but in my first set of affirmations, I remember affirming for a specific amount of money by a specific amount of time that I was needing at the time. I wasn't, it wasn't for sort of curing any illnesses or for like a peace convoy. It was for me to sort of go on a specific holiday. So, so it wasn't like, very enlightened necessarily, but it worked. And I've got like my affirmations that I say every day.
Yeah.
Sorry, you're on the phone. And I have either a specific like earning goal that I'd like to get to. And I always make it a little bit unrealistic, little unrealistic, just to see.
Yeah.
Just to see. And there's such a boost in it. And I think it's not just like a psychological boost. I really think, don't judge me, but I really think it works on a magical level as well.
I think so too. And I feel like with like making it a bit unrealistic actually makes it better magically, because if it's realistic, you're kind of focusing on like, well, I can do that. But if it's not, it just brings that lightness that you need for magic, doesn't it? If it's a bit out of the what is likely, if you think of your day to happen, then you're only going to, it puts a heaviness to it. But if it's a bit like, hey...
And then if it does happen exactly the way you want it to, well, happy days.
Exactly. You've opened the space for more, haven't you, then, rather than kind of like being heavy with what is possible potentially if you try really, really hard and da-da-da.
That lightness, I think, is
important.
so effective. I think I was saying to you like in January that I'd changed all my affirmations, which I hadn't done in a couple of years. I only change my affirmations every couple of years. I'm a very lazy witch, very lazy spiritual person. So I changed all my affirmations and I made them all short. I made them all short. I made them all light. 3-4 words. I earn annually this. I put I am gorgeous. But
you are.
Fine. Thank you. But also on the inside I want to be. So I made the affirmations really, really short and I breezed through them, and there's such a lightness from them being just like teeny tiny.
Yeah,
they're teeny tiny. And there's this I think maybe sort of psychological aspect that because they're so teeny tiny,
they're going to be specific.
Yeah, they're just going to happen. They're just going to, they're not asking for anything big. Look, it's 3 words.
Yeah.
It's 3 words. Can we not get on board with those 3 words? I'm not coming at you with 4. I'm coming at you with 3.
I don't. No,
Quick
sorry,
thinking.
I'd made a mistake with mine on my phone because I'd written had them as reminders coming throughout the day, and and then I've realised this time I did it though just way too long. I can't actually read them all when they come up, and therefore I dismiss. I complete them without actually going. If I'm busy, I don't actually go into it and read it. So I was like, I have to go in and take that off because it's no point. You go, it's not doing the thing it's meant to do. Just by being a long sentence, you see the first word and you're busy. You're not going to look at it and go, let me just read it. So it's going to come up and be really punchy, so I can see it coming up on the phone when it comes up.
Punchy, yeah, that's such a good word. So you're going for like an ad slogan.
Yeah, if it pops on my phone, I want to sort of just see it rather than go, I better go into the app and then read it, because you won't, not every day. I won't anyway, I know that. So it's just like, oh yeah, okay, make it just. But I think also, like you were saying, if you make the words less, you're focusing on the essence of it rather than writing a big essay around it.
Yeah. And you're breezing through it. You've got a little spiritual boost. You're carrying on with the rest of your day.
Mm-hmm. All is well.
Yeah.
That's a good one. All is well.
Yeah.
That's a really good one.
Oh, that's such a beautiful affirmation. I want to flash that on the screen. Let me figure out if I can do it.
Yeah.
In all capitals, the all is well. Oh. Almost. I flashed it on the.
Hey!
Well. Flash it on and off, on and off, on and off. I used to do sort of back in lockdowns, semi-regular kind of podcast. I think it was on Facebook. It was me and a psychic in America, and the presenter was like a radio guy, like a real vintage radio guy, like pictures of him with Mariah Carey when she was so young, and like Led Zeppelin. I know him and Mozart. So he's so fabulous, and he is Catholic with like really, really, really strong faith. And he said, let me share my favorite prayer with you. And he said, every day, in every way, by the grace of God, my life gets better and better. And I was like, that is word for word the affirmation that I had on my phone at the time. Every day, in every way, my life gets better and better. I might have not had the religion thing in it, but it was aiming the exact same direction.
Oh, it's lovely. No, it's lovely. Is it also what Frank Spencer says and some others do have them?
I don't know who's Frank Spencer. we need some. Yeah. Okay. Mark will know it because he is such a vintage.
Every day, in every way, I get better and better. I'm sure he said that, and then we'll just fall over and do something. But he was happy. He was a very happy. I mean, he was a disaster, but he was a very happy being.
I want to be a happy disaster. That's my goal. That's my goal. A happy disaster. Bring it on.
That's like an album title, I think.
It's a band name, The Happy Disaster. Mark says, I'm on juice and water because of the kidney stuff, but I did have a few coffees as I woke. I will not tell you.
A few.
Yeah, exactly. How long have you been awake? You've got love for Mark. And he says, affirmations can be so powerful if said and done right, says Mark. I'm working overtime with them at the moment, given the stuff between now and 1st January 2026. It's without a shadow of a doubt the most effective and user-friendly way to activate some magic.
Exactly. And we all use it. Like, we all say something every day to ourselves, and often if you don't keep it in check, it might not be the best thing. So it's just like since we're all going to think or say something to ourselves about ourselves every day, it's just that bit of mindfulness to go, well, let's just make it something I want. Let's be conscious about it rather than just go through the day and then they repeat. So it's magic that everyone can use, like you were saying, and if you don't choose to use it, it uses you anyways.
Yeah, because it's magic that everybody does all the time without realizing, either for the better or for the worse. Because if you're not the person that says, I'm sure it'll work out, you're the opposite. You're the person that says, I don't think it's going to work out.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that too is magic.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
too is magic. And when those intrusive thoughts decide to use like our mouths and lips, or like, you know, our fingers and typing, then they're not just intrusive thoughts, they're like intrusive actions. And that's a step too far.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Having fear, normal. Letting
Yeah.
fear take the driver's seat, bad decision.
Yeah, I agree. And we need to know about Frank Spencer now, because that affirmation. So I'm going to. Oh, Betty. Yes, he did say it. Yes, he was. He played the Phantom of the Opera, the actor that in theatre productions, not as Frank Spencer, but Michael Crawford.
Wow.
I'm going to look up. I have to look at the saying if it's exactly the same as our. But he was really happy. He had a nice, beautiful wife. You know, he was happy. He was just a bit of a happy disaster.
Happy disaster. No, it's the best. Oh, look. My lovely husband is doing very well in his new job. He's joining us, saying, you bring the happy and I'll bring, and I completely forgot about the happy disaster. And I thought maybe he's looking for a rhyme. You bring the happy, I'll bring the what?
Okay, yeah. Frank Spencer's sayings include, every day, in every way, I'm getting better and better.
Absolutely adore that as an affirmation. Yeah. It's such an effective affirmation. It's non-specific enough to embrace everything, but it has direction. It's pointed.
Yeah.
Sandy Black says, words are powerful.
They are spells. Literally, spells are spelling. So this is what we do.
Yeah.
Yappy, zappy.
You bring the happy, I'll bring the clappy.
I'll bring the clappy. I don't know if that sounds right.
You could bring the zappy. What affirmation would you do for the Sagittarius, full moon? Freedom.
Sorry.
What affirmation?
Freedom. Yeah. Boundlessness, you know, that sense of having, if there's something you want to achieve, not, you know, it's like this boundless opportunities, adventures, enthusiasm. If you need to kind of put enthusiasm towards a goal, freedom. I think it's that sense of the Gemini and the sun and the moon is always, there's a freedom, but then there's the pullback. So it's kind of working on where we have that pullback within ourselves. Like, you want this, but there's something else going on. So maybe identifying what's holding you back from, like, making it so. Another good TV affirmation. Make it so.
Make it so. I think if you combine like the Sagittarius and the Gemini, you could go for like a real fancy affirmation, like everyone around me wants me to thrive, or something like that. I think that will really,
that's lovely,
isn't it? Because that will allow your brain to immediately identify the people that don't, and then that precludes them from being the people around you. If everybody around me wants me to thrive, and, you know, Gina down the road always gives me evils, then she's not everybody around me. That excludes her. I love
that. And then it also helps that bit about asking for help, because if everyone around you wants you to thrive, then why wouldn't they help you?
Yeah. If everybody around you wants you to thrive, then if your bin if your bin flew into their garden and you're like, Gina, can you bring the bin back? She'll be like, sure.
Gina.
I don't know why. I think my daughter was watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine next to me. I think there might be a character there.
Good Gina. Yeah. Yappy is happy. This is a nappy.
Very nice. Going back to work, Mark. Right, amazing. So we are back to Grizz, who runs the channel, doing setting up the studio for us. So we got quite a fancy title, saying Global Visions, the psychic who sees beyond borders. So I know you're looking surprised. I had the same surprise half an hour ago. So shall we chat about what it's like giving readings to people in sort of completely different cultures that we can't imagine living in, or very, very far away, what it's like to sort of tune into things that are kind of outside of our own frame of reference.
Yeah, and I also like the fact that does go in with the fact we're just making affirmations for a boundaryless, a borderless full moon as well. Like, not in the same way, but yeah, like that sense of visioning bigger, and that's very Saggy, isn't it? Like expansion, visions, and like without borders. I know that's not quite the right crossover, but it works. It works.
Yeah, I think it does. I think the sort of the borderlessness and the boundarylessness are very, very similar. They're very identical.
So yeah, I love what I think. It's one thing I love about doing readings. Actually, is you get to experience lives that you are completely different to your own, and I really like that. Like experience people's way of living, as in what their focuses are, what their priorities are, what their living conditions are, what their social life's like. I absolutely love it because I find it absolutely fascinating, especially when you get to do sort of jobs where you go to do corporate events or parties, and you go to places where I probably would never have come here if I wasn't doing a reading. Yeah. And then it's like, oh, this is great. I get to experience how people live, which I think enriches everybody when they get the experience of thinking and feeling how somebody else would. It gets you out of your narrow little worldview, whether you like it or not. You know, we all have things that we do, people that we see, and so I really love doing readings where you get to experience people of all ages, from all backgrounds, well, from lots of different backgrounds, and you go to see where they work or you go to see where they play, and you get a sense of, I mean, I love it, and hopefully it gives them something as well, like they get to see someone who they wouldn't normally see in their environment. So it's a really good eye-opening thing for everyone, I think.
Yeah, no, I really agree. And I find it really exciting to kind of live vicariously through the clients and sort of go into their spaces, say on the Zoom or something. So because of the time difference, sometimes, you know, you'll be here in the middle of the night and you'll be Zooming somebody. And there was one client who was in, I'm not going to say exactly where, but she had a huge window behind her that opened straight like to the ocean.
Oh, man.
Oh,
yeah.
It was heavenly to just own that that view, and that transported me. So living kind of within the time difference, I think, is so mind altering, in the sense that, you know, sorry, it might sound really, really sort of simple-minded, but I think it's so magical that it'll be like 11 p.m. for me here, the end of the day, and I'm talking to somebody and it's like 10 a.m. where they are.
Yeah.
I think it's magical. I know it's only like nature, but I think it's
nature is magical.
Because then for half an hour or for an hour, it's also 10 a.m. for me.
Yeah.
So I know it doesn't sound very very intelligent or sort of
focused. I love it. It's no, I love that. I've had that as well, where you do readings, people have got these beautiful views, and I often make them show me. I'm like, no, show me. Or they've got puppies in the background, or like cats. I'm like, no, we have to meet everybody that's furry in your household. And so it's like
husband in bedroom, no need.
just the animals, and then you get to see these lovely places and how people live their lives. I just find that really fascinating, and I think it can always help to have that. And if you're envisioning something for yourself as well, like, you know, whatever you're wanting, if you're seeing, oh wow, that's actually really possible. I haven't actually met anybody personally that does that, so it's a really nice thing. Whether they meet you and they think, wow, you make a living doing this, that's possible, or you see their view and go, wow, I could live with that view. You know, it's just all like this lovely reciprocal envisioning.
Yeah, no, that's so right, because I was just that's funny, because that was coming up in conversations like 2-3 times over the last 2 days. So maybe that's a bit Sagittarius as well. But a few years ago, I was sort of talking to my friend while running and talking, and she said that she's read some article about how kids who grow up just around like their own environment have different like life outcomes than the ones who get sort of sent to school with, say, wealthier kids, or, for example, kids from like different national backgrounds, because then they see that something is actually possible, that is actually, achievable. You see, this person's a human being, I'm a human being, and they have that. So since I'm a human being, maybe I have access to that as well.
Yeah. Love that.
And that, I find it so inspirational.
Opens little pathways, I bet, in your brain. My favourite thing when I was at school in Leicester, which was, this a brilliant Asian community there. So we celebrated Diwali, and that was
Oh,
normal that we celebrate Diwali, and I loved it. Like, it was absolutely one of the most, exciting. You did the celebrations like you did. Like you would do, Christmas or Easter. You'd also do Diwali, and people they'd bring the food in. We'd get to taste the food. So that's about 5 or 6 or 7, and I just thought. And then you go to the place and you don't celebrate Diwali. So and you get to learn about the gods and all the different arms they had and adventures they had. And, literal arms, not like weapons. I mean, how many literally arms they had. And I was just like,
yeah.
it was just that for my little brain was so magical to see all that. And I think, isn't it
Oh,
lovely if people did that, like celebrating all the different backgrounds and the different festivals? I know it'd be a very busy school year, but it'd be nice.
it's busy anyway, but that's so beautiful. And that is sort of going back to the 80s.
Yes.
Really, as a society, we want to be moving forwards, not backwards.
I
More and
know.
more. Yeah.
So that's it. Yeah.
That's really gorgeous. In a really, really sort of different way, actually, my primary school had a deaf class. So that so that we were we were studying alongside disabled class, which for the 80s was like really advanced. It was really progressive, that it wasn't sort of, putting things in a different school and that. So that was sort of quite open-minded for the time. I really hope that most schools are like that now. But when there's really sort of nothing stopping you from sharing that space with other people. But I know that in working in readings, you would bump into people who think that the only way to work would be to like follow their family into the family business, or to sort of go into a 9-to-5 job. And as the reader, and in a person in the world, you come in and kind of say to them, you can do anything.
Yes.
You absolutely can. You can literally do anything. Apply. What's the worst that can happen? Apply.
Yeah, exactly. You say hi to Amy, because I've seen her lovely message on there. Hello, lovely.
Yeah. So we've got a few messages. Mark says the life of other people in other countries can be better or worse than the UK. It's always interesting to learn the experience when giving readings. Vanessa is flying in a panic. Oh no!
Oh, you missed so much talking about just a normal degree of.
And Lady Thistle is saying, "Good morning, ladies." Amy says, "Sounds beautiful." We actually have a question from Lady Thistle. Should we do a couple of questions?
Please feel free to ask your questions. Yes.
So, Lady Thistle says, "Hello. I want to know if I will find any resolution to the health problems I'm having soon. It's been frustrating as Saturn just exited my 12th house in Pisces." Wow. Let's see what it wants from you. But if it's exited, then bye-bye. Hopefully, yeah. All the delays and missteps and misdiagnoses are out of the way.
Oh, how you? Shall I? Do you want to? Shall I?
Oh, yeah. You've got lots of
team thought.
Very nice. So I see you going for 3 different examinations. 1 or 2 maybe a little bit invasive. It's okay. But on your way to a diagnosis is always good. And it actually looks like the best diagnosis you're going to get is from you having accidentally watched something or read something that made you think, oh, I think I know what it is. So when you approach the diagnosis, you'll be saying to your healthcare provider, there's something a little bit strange about what I'm experiencing. Is it, I don't know if it's relevant. Is it relevant? I think it might be relevant. And that will be kind of the key to getting you to where you need to be getting. I feel like the proper diagnosis comes in August, and then it's still kind of getting tweaked in terms of treatment, tweaked here and there. And then eventually you have like a really good care plan in place from January onwards. So it takes a few months, even when everybody knows exactly what is going on, it takes a few months to figure out the direction that is specific for you. But yeah, do not discount your intuition. What have you got for Lady Thistle?
Wow, it's interesting because the first one we got is the Five of Wands, and guess who's in charge of that bad boy? Saturn. And even though he's left the building, he's not like go. There's paperwork to do. Is the kind of feeling I get. Like he might have left the building, but he's not unlocked the door yet. He's saying, "I'm gone," but So there's a sense of this is a kind of a chaos after the storm's been through, like the chaos. So it's not how things are going to be now. It's not like this is okay, I'm stuck in this situation. It feels there's like I'm getting like an untangling. It feels like an untangling of some of like taking things apart. Go, well, actually, what's happening here? You might be able to see more clearly now, but it feels like you said, August feels to be the time when things start to shift. There's something I'm getting around this, which feels like not pressing too hard on certain things, not pushing too hard with certain things. It's like taking a step back to untangle, because it's like the more you're pushing or the more you're trying to get something to be resolved, it's resolving. It feels it's shifting. I'm getting cooling energy, like a gentleness, a coolness that could even be something that you might want in your, like even alkaline kind of coolness. I just feel calming things, but I just do get not to throw out all the ideas you're trying, but to take a little bit of a step back to just maybe try a different approach, just a little bit gentler for you at the moment. August is when all this different bits of this puzzle exactly start making sense. But yeah, we've got the last one that is beautiful. You've got the cool, gentle energy, that Pisces energy, and there's a real feeling of healing there. So I do feel that it might be a few months still, but it is really, really shifting. So thank you. I've just got to get off the camera a minute because my cat's being a bit sick. Sorry, can I just go off for 2 seconds?
Yeah. You go. Let me take you off.
Yeah, thank you.
Right. And you're with me for a moment. Laura is doing her mummy thing, but I was actually wanting to make a little point about how similar the cards that came up on Laura's side and the cards that came up on my side were. So let me see if I can pull out, was it the Five of Wands, Eight of Wands, and one of the water cords, and just a little educational moment that we'll see the similarities between, was it this one? Was that the water we had? The similarities between the messages, because that really took me aback. I was taken aback by the similarities. So we had, there's the Eight of Wands. Let me find the Five and share. There we go. It's the absolute final one. So where I had the Devil, which is Capricorn ruled by Saturn, and Laura had the Five of Wands, also Saturn, not exact colors, but very similar palette, the kind of yellowy, very straight line going through the middle. Then see how these are kind of similar in a way, fiery, bright, sort of very going from the center outwards, and then a watery one each. So I had the Three of Cups. Laura had the was it the Princess? The Princess of Cups, and then both of them are kind of very loving, very warm, very embracing. And I'll be honest, I get a big kick out of seeing similarities like that. We've got a few new comments. So let's have a little looky who else we've got here. We've got really sort of comments from everyone and everything. Amy, this Moon Moggy John says, got to go in 10 minutes, don't you worry. And Lady Thistle, I think Laura is back for the compliment. Lady Thistle says, love your polka dot dress, by the way.
Thank you,
Laura.
Lady Thistle. That's really kind. Thank you.
Very good.
What have I missed?
Love it, love it. Lady Thistle says, yeah, I go into heavy self-research.
Yeah.
It's, you know, you gotta trust your healthcare providers a lot, but if information sort of comes to you almost by itself, and you're like, oh wait, you know, this fits and that fits, test it out with them.
Definitely. Thank you.
Sorceress says, hey, first time here, just wanted to know how things work.
Wow.
How do we define it?
Does it work? I think it flows. It flows. We chat about things of magical or astrological or tarot-like nature, and there's a bit of a space for people to come up and ask questions if they want to. So, you know, I've had one already today. That maybe you've got something coming up, and you're welcome to have a little mini reading, or just to comment about what you like about the topic or don't like about the topic that we're talking about. I think that's about it.
Yeah, Lady Thistle says, thanks so much. Lorna says, I'm so late. You, everyone.
Okay, don't worry. No.
And Lauren Nicole says, hi, Bar. Hi, Lauren.
Hi.
Lady Thistle. Oh, look at that. Moon Moggy John says, I have joined Laura's Freya course for the 21st.
Yay.
Tell us a little bit more about the course, Laura.
Yeah, it's like it's a day, but obviously it's on the solstice when I was holding it as a celebration of, as I get a real solar energy with Freya, like she's a life force goddess. So I thought it'd be great to celebrate her on the longest day of or the longest sunny day of the year, hopefully in the UK. However, it's an online course. It's an online sort of. It's got rituals, it's got meditation. There's things you can do throughout the day to work and connect with Freya, but you don't have to do it on that day. There's a live aspect of it as well. So it'll all be recorded. So it's something you can do to have it as your focus for the summer solstice, but you can also take that and do it over the week or over the next few days. So there's plenty of ways you can work with it. And if you don't know who Freya is, she is a goddess of the life force energy. She's a goddess of love, of magic, of passion, of abundance, and of cats.
How is Kitty Cat?
We could be. As soon as I come off here, we'll be on the phone to Yonder Vet because she was very sick last night as well, and she's still.
Oh.
I thought we would see how it went today because she's a bit calm. I thought, oh, calmer, but no, we'll get on the phone to the vet.
A few more minutes. Let her rest before it does.
Yeah. I said the word. The word.
Yeah. Laura Nicole says hi to Lady Thistle. Diane says hi and Ban. Hi to Laura when she comes back on. All right. Lorna corrected herself.
Right. No,
Moon Moggy John's got a love and run. I've got Lorna greeting people.
Thank you. That's very kind of you.
Thank you. Mark says, about a month before I was diagnosed, I had a feeling but couldn't explain it, so research. And well, you know what it was. Research is your friend sometimes.
It is.
I've got a good question for you from Diane.
I'm blowing kisses that way. Don't worry. I'm blowing kisses off the screen. That way as well. It's just.
Yeah, exactly. More love in the world. Random art magic question, says Diane. What's something you have created that caught you by surprise the most?
Oh,
like all of them.
Oh, yeah, all of them. I think. I think they've all had different processes. So some of them, you know, I think what I like most is when you do like a ritual or do a journey, and there's something in it like I really want to create that and recreate it. And I always feel those ones are quite magic. But I think what's lovely is when you create something that you've seen in a ritual or seen in a journey or whatever, or in a sacred site, and then somebody else recognizes it as well. I like it when that happens, and you go, oh, so not it's just me, like it's your way of seeing it, but that it relates to somebody else as well. I always think, or it speaks to somebody else as well. I really like that.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. And I feel like your stuff is so identifiable and so unique. There's a little slice of you in all of that, because you'll see it and you're like, that's a Daligan.
That's an elegant, yes.
Fabulous. Jackie says, hello, ladies. Can I have a career reading? Virgo from Tennessee.
Of course you can. Of course you can.
That's quite exciting. And isn't it so Virgo to ask for a career reading?
Yeah, absolutely. Love the card that just jumped out for you as well. Yeah. So sure. Well, what leapt out for you, is the bestest. Look at that. The universe card. Woohoo. Such a wonderful card. And talking really about what we're talking about today, like kind of these boundary, like this kind of freedom and this global vision, like this is the absolute card of a global vision. You've got an eye in the universe. It feels like whatever's happening for you at the moment with your career, even if it has poopy moments, because we've got the Five of Swords came out, even if there's been a nasty nudge from some area of your life, it is to get you into a better and stronger place. And I do feel there's going to be opportunities, interviews, meetings, deals that you can make, which are going to make things so much better. So any nudge of poopiness that's come up from the world, because the Five of Swords is, when people aren't what you thought they were, or they're kind of, manipulating you, or a bit of bullying or nasty vibe about something, or something just didn't work how you wanted it to, and it feels a bit broken. The feeling around that is there is goodness to come out of this, which is far outweighing the poopiness that might have happened. It's a lot of poopiness for one reading. For a good outcome.
Some people like that. Amazing. But do you know what? I got a 5 in the middle as well.
Yeah.
And the magic of 5, like 5 is such a challenging number because it pushes you out of your comfort zone. But you know what also encourages growth? Pushing out of the comfort zone. Yeah. So those difficult moments are the moments that you then look back and think, if that hadn't happened, then all the incredible things that are on their way would not have been possible. So it's a really identical message there, saying there's all those opportunities, all those incredible things coming up. Sure, you trip up a little bit. That's fine. You're a human being. Even Virgos are a human being. Perfection is unnecessary. And then once you get up from that little trip up, you are approaching a real heart-centered direction. And I feel like there's something in you which relates exactly to what we're talking about, of thinking, I have to find success in this specific kind of way or in that specific kind of perception. But actually you need to see the shady underbelly of the career a little bit to think, wait, no, I need something that is mine, that makes me happy, it makes me feel alive and satisfied. Yes, exactly.
You want to feel like this. This is the best feelings, aren't they? The ones you've got and the ones I've got are the best feelings. So we're having to feel these poopy ones to get to these ones.
Absolutely. And a certain amount of ballast, a certain amount of weight is necessary to steady the ship. If the ship is too light, it flies. Sorceress is with us saying, okay, got it. Yeah, we're here every week, boo. Although, I won't be able to do this in the summer holidays.
When do they start? When do your holidays start?
Like July 20th, July 20th, like so long. Everybody in America is off school already.
Yeah.
And then the rest of Europe is like next week after.
Yeah. It's a bit late, isn't it? It feels late. I'm not sure.
It's always late. It's always so late. And I have this sort of, because, I work so internationally, then I see everybody sort of having to change their diaries a little bit, to fit in around the family and stuff. And I'm like, no, I can still do things pretty much exactly the same until the 21st of July. But yeah, those of you that will miss us will be delighted to know that the UK has one of the shortest summer holidays.
How long is it now? Because obviously it's changed, hasn't it?
6 weeks.
6 weeks.
It's like 6 weeks. You've barely had a chance to, to put away the school uniform. You don't even need like new school uniform. How much have they grown in 6 weeks? Yeah, that was my little Sorceress says, is it okay if I can request a reading for my spiritual guides? Are there any messages that I should be paying attention to at this time? Let's see, Sorceress. So nice to have another sorceress on board.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Oh. Do you want to go first?
Yeah, I will. Sorceress, your guides, and more than your guides, these are the people that have gone before, your departed relatives. They are saying you're doing everything right. You're doing everything right. But it's really okay to do everything wrong here and there, because they can sense that you really fancy a change, and the change that you fancy doesn't align with the ordinary bits that you're still holding on to. So the great routines that you've got and the great balance that you've achieved, that is beautiful and that is necessary, and if there are things that you can get rid of, do. If there are habits that don't serve you, not necessarily bad habits, but just like, pointless habits that don't serve you, let go of them, because when you let go of them, new things will enter and they will make life so much more broad for you. You'll have a much wider view of the world. What have you got there? I'm very curious why you were like, yeah, you go.
Oh, no, it's good. I was being like, I was doing you, me. That was all. Like,
right.
No. I thought they got lovely cards as well. Yeah, absolutely. So the first thing I was getting, I've got to try some different cards for. So 6 of Cups, Queen of Wands, and the 6 of Pentacles. So we've got 2 sixes, and 6 I really love in the tarot. It's a real generous, harmonious feeling of abundance, and kind of, we were just saying now how you've got to get over certain blocks. This is the feeling you get when you start to do that. It feels really positive. But the first thing I got is that just to be really kinder to yourself, and again, like saying, allow your guides to give you something, allow yourself to receive, every receiving, and also to see. You got the Queen of Wands, like it's time for an upgrade in even how you're expressing yourself, how you're being, and understanding that you've earned that you know it, you've got you've got where you are because of all the magic and the work that you've already done. There's a little bit of a receiving time first, maybe even just doing something to kind of gentle the energy, to do a treatment for yourself, take care of yourself, go and talk to some old friends. I don't know, something that's just a gentleness, but just to remind you of who you are and how far you've come, and that you are so ready for this next chapter. And then you're going to start receiving it in abundance. And the undercurrent of this reading, as it came up, was a Wheel of Fortune. So like you were saying, there's big changes coming and there's better stuff coming. So it's a time of just taking a little bit of pressure off for yourself and just allow yourself to be it. Yay!
What a beautiful deck! Show me these cards.
It's called the Everyday Witches Tarot, and so every card has witches and cats on it. I mean, what's not to love if you've got witches and cats on everything? Like, it's generally
is it like based on a true place? Can we move there? Do you need a passport?
I know. I want to go now. And I like the 9 of Pentacles is like, just chilling with my glass of wine and my cats in my nice little chair. I'm like, yes.
So realistic. Based on a true story.
And the Temperance is like, do I go for health food or cake? And what's doing yoga?
Both. That is balance. Health food and cake.
So good.
I love that.
Yeah. It's such a nice day.
We're starting to run out of time. Believe it. Yes. You want to run to the vet? Well, I don't want to run to the vet.
No, I must have to give them a phone of the call.
Yeah. So thank you everybody for joining us. You're good for next week?
Yes.
Yeah, amazing. I should be good for next week. Those of you that haven't had your comments read out, I'm gonna flash them over the closing credits. So enjoy. But yeah, everybody, Have an
Have a lovely
amazing
week.
day.
Have a lovely day and see you soon.
See you soon. Bye.
Bye.